Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. My name is Acheampong and I'm here to bring you stories from the motherland. Today's guest is a very special one. She's my friend, she's a mom, she's an entrepreneur, and she is here.
Hey!
Hello, Vanessa.
Hi, how are you
Thank you for
doing?
being on the channel.
Oh, thanks for having me.
I'm good. It's not like we haven't seen each other.
Yeah, I know, like every single day for the past 2 weeks.
Oh, it's been good. It's been very good to be back, having you around. Love it.
Yeah, same, honestly. I missed you so much and it's so nice to have you back.
Thank you. So I'm doing stories from the motherland, and basically I'm just going around of friends and people I know, just to see like what's their story and what do they do.
Yeah.
With yours, I want to get a little twist because you have been here for a little bit over a year. Am
Just
I right?
almost a year. March, it'll be
Almost
a year.
Okay,
yeah.
okay. So I want to know, like, first of all, what brought you to Ghana, and how do you look back on being here for a full year and living here with your family?
So like it's been a dream of mine to move here ever since I was probably 16. So when I was 3, my parents started, or 2 or 3, my parents started bringing us every second year on holiday. My dad's from here, my mum's from Scotland. My mum thought it was so important that we like embraced our culture. So we all came on a family holiday every second year from age 3. But in those early years, it was more of like a family thing. We just stayed around the house. But when I got to 16, I started making my own friends and started going out, experiencing things. And that's when I realized, like, oh my gosh, Ghana is just the best place in the world.
Yeah.
And that's when I really like wanted to live here for a bit, because I had friends going to school here. I actually wanted to go to school here myself at that point, but obviously, like, you know, my family was in Scotland, it wasn't possible. So I thought I would always love for my kids to experience going to school here, living here, learning the language, because I never learned the language growing up. Nobody spoke it to me, so I want that for my kids. So now that we're finally here, so obviously that was when I was 16, all the way up until I was last year, 28, I think I was when I moved. That's a long time to like want something. Life happened, did all sorts of things. And then the time came where it was now the time to come here. And because it was a dream for so long, like, I feel like realizing your dream is like a great thing, but it's also a strange thing. When you've dreamt about something for so long and then it actually happens, it's like a weird feeling. I don't know if you experienced that.
Yeah, sure, I can really imagine that. I can really understand that. When you think about it for so long and it happens, it's almost like you're dreaming, but the reality.
Yeah, exactly.
In the twilight zone.
And I think because I'd been here so many times before I moved here, there was no shock. So I think if somebody's never been here before or been like once or twice and they move here, there'd be a lot of shocks. But I knew what it was like here. So it was like a very easy transition in that way. Obviously there was still things that I had to learn living here, but overall I really love it. And I do find that when I first moved here, it's quite, so before I moved here, basically I was traveling back and forth. I was coming on my own, shooting content for 2 weeks, and I was traveling back to Scotland. I was editing it, and it was very easy to work that way, because I was here on my own. Moving here with my kids and my husband, it was a very different story.
How was it different?
Because now I'm like living like a normal life, and I'm trying to balance work as well. Whereas before, I kind of like left everyone for 2 weeks to focus on what, like kind of what you're doing right now.
Hello,
and you've got
VanessaKanbi.
the time, but when you've got your family, obviously, like, you know, there's all the
different.
clubs in the afternoons, there's school pickups, drop off, you know, there's so many things that you have to like think about. And also like the weather can sometimes make it quite difficult to work, like edit. But I think shooting is fun. And I actually enjoy editing as well, but like when the weather's so nice, you want to be outside, you want to be doing this and that, but then you have to focus on working. That can be a little bit like difficult sometimes. So it's just like finding the motivation to like keep pushing forward when there's so many nice things you could be doing outside.
I understand that. So would you say that you had more focus to work in Scotland than you have now in Ghana?
So I think in Scotland, I wasn't, towards the end, I had a great like childhood in Scotland, upbringing and everything. Like I really loved the school I went to and everything like that. But towards the end, I wanted to move to Ghana so much that I wasn't happy.
What are you missing?
So I think I don't know how to describe it, but I feel like sometimes when I'm in Scotland, like I feel like Sometimes people are looking at me, or like I don't feel like I fit in a way sometimes, or like I feel a bit out of place. So it's not a nice feeling. Like, you know, walking around, I didn't feel like completely comfortable. I feel comfortable here, basically, whereas there was times I just felt uncomfortable. And so I think that uncomfortability like really pushed me. Like I always had the dream, but it really pushed me like, no, this has to happen.
Yeah.
And when it wasn't happening, I was sad. So when I was coming here, I was happy. And when I was there, I was happy to be working on the videos in the house.
Yeah.
So I didn't feel like, oh, I want to be outside
Yeah.
doing something.
Yeah.
I was just happy to sit in front of my computer
Yeah,
and edit.
I get you. So what was it like for your family? Because you have a husband and 2 kids. Were they also living that dream all these years with you?
No, so my kids hadn't been to Ghana until the December before we moved. Because every time I came, it was kind of like, not saying an escape, but like it was like a holiday for me, or it was like working.
Yeah.
So I didn't bring the kids. So when I did bring them, they absolutely loved it. Like they didn't want to go back. And then that was the December, and then we moved in the March. So from December to March, obviously that's quite a quick decision time. And they were really excited to come because they'd just been here on holiday. They loved it. My husband, like he had a stable job with a good income in the UK. So I think for him, like, and that's what he'd known for like 10 plus years. So obviously we've got a family, he wants to provide for the family, so it was a much more like difficult decision for him to kind of like leave that behind and come here for my dreams. He loved it here though, so it wasn't that he didn't love it here, it was just that he had like a stable job with a good income, and he'd even explored moving with that company here. It hadn't been a possibility, so like he'd explored other options. And so that's why I kind of wanted to work up to the place where I could like support the family so we could move, which is what happened. And then when he came, like he loves it so much now. Like he does not want to move back. Such a nice lifestyle. As for the kids, so I think my daughter, she was 4, she's 5 now. She found it really easy because she didn't have like solid friends in the UK. She had friends, but you know, when you're that age, it's just like, it doesn't really matter who you're playing with. Whereas for my son, like he has like best friends in the UK, so it's definitely been more challenging for him because he misses his friends basically, and he's used to that school that he went to. He's used to the structure there, so the adjustment period has been longer, but it's definitely been okay. But there was times for me where it was really, really difficult because I felt like, am I doing the right thing for my family, for the kids? Especially my son, when he, you know, feels like he misses like the UK.
Yeah.
I do think that like it seems like I didn't find the logistics that difficult in terms of like actually, well, packing up my house in the UK was kind of like stressful, but the actual logistics of moving wasn't that bad. You know, I came and found a house and all that stuff, but it's like the mental strain or something of like when not everyone's on the same page being here, like I want to be here, you know, like my husband wants to be here, but it's just taking the kids into consideration and like making sure that it's the right thing.
I think when they're older it's also a bit more difficult because they know the system there so well, so they have more comparison. So how many times has your husband been here before he made the move? So
he'd been here twice before. He'd been here like, was it 3 years before, and then the December before. And yeah, I mean, he liked it. The first time we came was like a party holiday, so he didn't experience like the true situation. And also, we're not actually big partiers, me and him. So that probably wasn't the best idea. Like, I wouldn't do that if you were trying to convince someone. Don't just bring them on like a party escapade. But then the second time we came, we were with the family, so he could really see what like family life would be like here, basically. Yeah.
Oh, great. And so we're moving on 1 year, almost 1 year further. You have your house settled. Oh no, you don't have your house situation settled yet.
No, I don't.
Because we've watched some videos that you're looking for land. How's that going, and what are the struggles?
Oh my gosh, honestly, this is like the bane of my life at the moment. So I've actually been looking for land for over a year, and there's been certain lands that I've had my heart set on. It's happened probably 3 or 4 times. Because of the area that I'm looking in, it's like kind of prime. First of all, it's so expensive. And second,
what is expensive?
So like, it's like, So for a plot, it's maybe $150,000 plus for like 70 by 100, which isn't that big.
Yeah.
And ideally, like in my dream head, that's not how I saw myself living here. Like I
You
didn't
wanted
come to
bigger.
Ghana to be in a small space.
Yeah.
Like I wanted space, greenery, all that stuff. I wanted to grow my own food. I probably wanted maybe some chickens, a dog. Got the dog now.
Nice.
So it's just like finding that balance. So initially I was looking in this one area. I found a couple. So there was one that I thought I was going to go ahead with, went back there, like unannounced type thing, and somebody was like chainsawing off the lock that the person selling it to me had put on. So obviously it's like a no-go.
Yeah.
What other issues? I mean, so many of like, you think it's for sale and it's not actually for sale. Like agents saying it's for sale, then getting your hopes up. Then it turns out when you speak to the owners that actually they don't want to sell it or they're just not serious about it. There's just so much litigation with land in the prime areas, which is, you know, you go to Lands Commission and there's like 10 claims on the same one plot of land.
Wow.
So if you start trying to get involved, like you're just going to be in court for 5 years,
Yeah, that
and
doesn't make sense.
you're not going to have your land and your money's going to be tied up and all that. So now I think what I've decided, so I've toyed back and forth with ideas. I've toyed of renting forever and then developing with money that we have, using it for business basically.
Okay.
And then I've also toyed with like just moving further out, but the traffic is so bad that I don't know if it's worth it for the kids to be sitting in traffic and stuff like that. But I do want a bit more space, so I think that we might just look further out where there's less demand for that land, so there's less litigation and it's more likely to be like a smooth process. There's also land guards, which I've met on several occasions, which actually scare the living daylight out of me.
Wow.
So you might be on the land and like looking at it. So there was one plot that I really liked and we went again like unannounced. Basically just don't do that. But at the same time, I wanted to do that to see what the situation
Of course,
was.
I think it's the best time.
And we were on the land and like all these people came on motorbikes like shouting at us and I was just like so scared because I didn't know what was going to happen. So yeah, I think we might go a bit further out. But for now, like obviously the building process probably realistically takes a year. So we're probably going to have to rent for longer. Right now my rent is quite high because I only anticipated doing it for a year. So now I'm deciding, should I just like suck it up and keep paying this rent for another year? Or should I move to somewhere cheaper for a year and use that money on like a build?
Yeah. It's a difficult decision.
So all
It's
these
not
things
easy.
like, and it's quite unsettling not knowing, and also just like not having my own place. Like I really value like owning somewhere. I know that some people don't mind renting, but I've not rented in so many years of my life. Like I've owned a place for like, what, 6 years plus. That going back to renting is just a bit different. But we do rent out our house in Scotland as well.
But renting in Ghana also comes with a different price tag than I think renting anywhere else.
Yeah.
Accra, not Ghana.
Yeah.
So would you take us along when you finally find your land and are starting to build?
Hopefully, yeah. I mean, it depends on like the location. Obviously, I'm quite private. Like I don't want, you know, I wouldn't want it to be like obvious where I'm living and stuff like that. So it depends on where the location is, where the plot is, and like the surroundings as to whether I can really film a lot. I would love to like film the whole process, but I'll just wait and see.
Yeah, okay. So since you came here, you've also had, besides YouTube, which is a real business, people, you also started another business. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
So I've just started the Ghana Guide, which is basically, at the moment, it's itineraries. So you can go on there if you're coming to Ghana for however long, there's different options. So we have 7 different plans. We have a 14-day family trip. So it's everything from morning till night, every single one of those 14 days. So you literally don't have to do any of your own research because we just went on a trip.
And we needed an itinerary.
Yeah, we needed an itinerary because we didn't know where we were going.
Yeah.
And if you don't know like the local know-how, you just don't know where to go. So it's for that exact thing. There's like a family one, there's a cultural trip, there's an adventure trip, there is a, what else have we got in there? Party trip. There's just so many options for different people and what different people might want to experience from Ghana. And it's not just in Accra, like they take you around different regions as well, some of
Oh,
them.
nice, very nice.
So I just wanted to, like, so many people email me asking where to go,
Yeah.
and I don't have the time to like reply to every single email. So I wanted to create something that can cater to everyone actually that's coming to Ghana for
Yeah.
what they might want to do here
Yeah.
for like a sort of affordable price.
Yeah, love it. That's so great.
Oh, thanks.
Check out the Ghana Guide, guys.
And then also more is coming to the Ghana Guide. So if you're moving to Ghana, there's going to be a whole section on that coming soon.
Very nice.
Oh,
very
thanks.
nice. So where do you see yourself in 5 years? Would you still be in Ghana?
Yeah, definitely. In terms of like work and business, I'd love to transition into being a developer,
Okay.
building houses, selling them, because I do so much real estate on my channel. I can see where there's definitely gaps in the market. Properties here are extremely expensive, and sometimes I don't think they have to be, and it's not affordable. Like for myself, I couldn't buy a house in the area that I want to live, but I could buy land and build a house for something within my price range.
Yeah.
So it's like there needs to be a happy medium between like the really high prices and if you're building in, but there needs to be a sort of middle space. So anyway, I want to really do that. So I need to really look into what it is to be a developer, investment, all that sort of stuff. So I think within the next year, hopefully, I can transition into that as well as doing my channel. And yeah, by 5 years, I hope to have built, a main house, a second home. I basically just love houses and building, as you probably see from my channel.
Oh, that's so
And I'd also love to have another place in Scotland that can be like a family home for us,
Where you
that
go
we
back.
can go back and forth, not the rental property. And so, yeah, I plan to like be here. And I think especially the longer that my kids are here, the more they will be like comfortable with everything here, like the school. I think it's mainly like schooling's quite different, so it's just adapting to that.
What are the difficulties that they have had adapting to the school?
So I think I really like the school personally. I think it's just different. Like if you're used to something and you go to something different, it's just different. Like it's difficult to explain. And then also just like making friends and all that sort of stuff just takes time. So I think that's been the main thing. Just like a normal moving from anywhere to anywhere.
Yeah.
Sort of thing, yeah.
Okay.
Like even if I moved to like Holland, I'm sure it would be different for the
You should
kids.
come. They'll love it. No, I'm just joking. Okay, so if you can take something from Scotland here to Ghana, what would that be?
Wow.
It doesn't have to be a thing. It can also be.
Yeah,
something that
okay.
you bring to
I know
Ghana.
what it is. Pavements. So I actually like walking, like I like stepping out of like my front door and going for a walk. And it's just not so possible here because the road is the road and then there's the gutter. I would love to be able to go walk, like on a walk and just like enjoy the outside. It's obviously I can go somewhere to go for a walk. Like I could go to North Legon Botanical Garden. I could go to Ibree. I could go.
But you have to drive before
Exactly.
you can walk.
So that's probably the one thing that I would bring over.
Okay. I know you're not going back to Scotland, but what is something you would take from Ghana and give to Scottish people?
So there's one thing about, I'd say that like Scottish people are already like really nice, friendly people. Even if you look at the whole of the UK, like Scottish people are very welcoming and stuff like that.
Okay.
But what I really like about here, it's like a double-edged sword, is the relaxed nature of the Ghanaians. The good thing about that is it's like, it makes things a bit more relaxed. The not so good thing about that is like
Sometimes it's too
customer
relaxing.
service, yeah, all those things. But I actually do like it. I like the fact that there isn't so much rush and stress to be on time and those sort of things. But then if you're in a rush, then it can, so I don't know, but maybe a bit more like relaxed and chilled.
Okay.
But it's just, it's just difficult to know if you need that sense of urgency. I don't think you do to, like, make good customer service and stuff like that. I guess to an extent you probably do.
Yeah, a little bit more. Like the customer service level could increase a little bit.
Yeah, exactly.
People
Yeah.
be a little bit more punctual and yeah, that way.
Yeah.
Awesome.
But the weather, I would bring the weather to Scotland.
Okay,
Definitely. Oh my gosh, I love the heat.
Yeah.
Here, everyone's like, oh, you want to get out the sun? And I'm like, no, I want to get in the sun.
Yeah, I get that. That's lovely.
I think that's one thing about here that's great for my kids is the weather and the fact they can be outside a lot. Like that's one of the as well as like absorbing the culture and everything like that. One of the most amazing things. So you can just go outside and be outside. Go to the beach, go to the pool and be outside. In Scotland it's cold most of the time.
How is it, you wanted to absorb the culture, how is it going? Can you speak a little Tree by now?
Kakra. I mean, the thing is, like, when I was young, there was little bits here and there, but not fluency or anything like that. So my kids have like a class every week, and I went to this class myself, which wasn't the same as the kids one, because the kids one is quite like kiddie, like they're focused on like singing sort of kids songs and all that sort of thing. And I did want to sit in on it, but then I thought that when I was there, they weren't paying attention, so I basically couldn't be with them whilst they were learning. But I went to an adults one, which was really good actually, and I'm going to continue going. But I actually think we need to absorb ourselves into the language. I think it's quite difficult to sit down and learn it. I feel like we need to go somewhere like one day a week. Just everyone's only speaking Tree, so that it's like forced onto us, because otherwise it's just going to take forever, I feel like. But I don't know, I'm quite not good at learning languages, so hopefully I can learn that. Yeah, hopefully.
What about food? What is your favorite Ghanaian dish?
Red. So I'm vegetarian, so there's a lot of dishes that are off bounds for me. But I really love red, as long as they don't add fish flakes or whatever they're called that's normally added. Red, Killy-Willy, and I used to love jollof, but again, like most of the time they use chicken stock.
Oh, so even the stock you can't have?
No, unless it's the vegetarian stock, but most of the time it actually isn't the vegetarian one.
Yeah.
See, like my life, I have to like go through that anyway. So what else do I really like? Yeah, I mean, that's probably my favourite. And there was, when we went to Ivory Coast, actually, I had a very similar thing to red, but it just wasn't in so much sauce. Can't remember what it was called. Don't know.
Oh, okay. Oh, the quinoa that you
ate.
Okay,
but it was beans and stuff. I didn't see any quinoa in there. Like it was just like a bean stew in sort of block. But I guess the similar sort of foods transcend over the borders.
Okay. So what can we expect from your channel?
So my channel, I think, is going to take a little bit of a turn. So I definitely want to do more documentary style videos, because I kind of started with that on the Ghana side, but then I like left it because I was trying to do a lot of output, make a lot of videos, and it's difficult to focus on one if you're doing that. So I want to make more documentary high sort of end videos. And then I also would love to do, so I've got a series called House and Hustle where I visit other people's houses, so I want to do that around the African continent, and also Africa's Incredible Spaces around Africa, so travelling around, and Ghana. If anyone's got a house and they would love to show me around, I'd love to see it. But it's quite difficult sometimes to get into people's houses, like they don't want to show their houses and that sort of thing. So yeah, like, I mean, I will work on it, and hopefully I can show many more beautiful houses.
Nice. Thank you so much for having me.
Thanks for having me.
Guys, I'm sure you all know Vanessa, but if you haven't subscribed yet, please do. And we'll see you in the next one. Thank you for watching. Bye.
Bye.